time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Alright, so let's address a few things out of the gate. Hello, welcome back, Darkest Dungeon, Bloodier Moon. I took a few days. I licked my wounds. I reflected on what ultimately I'm coming to realize is just the perfect story arc for our Bloodier Moon campaign, right? We hadn't lost a few people in a while. I was getting to a place that was way too comfortable for this game. God forbid I continue to apply the things that I had realized for the umpteenth time over and over again. I had to create a little drama, I guess. We've done that successfully, so bravo us. Now let's get back on the horse, damn it. Because it ain't gonna go on its own. It doesn't have that feature yet. That's in the sequel. Anyway, let's figure out how the hell we're gonna recuperate here. Thankfully, things are really not that bad. And that's a... Hold on, let me get the frog out of my throat so you can take me seriously, or at least as seriously as you're capable of taking me anymore. It's never that bad, you know? Like, every time you suffer a loss like that, it feels pretty devastating in the moment. But then you get back to your estate and you really put the pieces together and you think, I mean, okay, yeah, we got a lot left to like still here. We got quite a few people still in that veteran level. Obviously, a lot of champions still left over here, or legends, I suppose I should say, and some champions. We're still leveling pretty quickly. We got new, fresh faces to bring along for some dungeons now as well, so that's fun, including Doug, and we do have one more spot here. I wouldn't mind actually grabbing yet another Vestal. I feel like you can never have enough of those. Let's do exactly that. Yeah, that seems right to me.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
And this newest member of the squad, having drawn from a newer pool of the members here. Big shout out again to all the members for their support, including Baby, who will be our newest, appropriately lowest level character in the roster. And we won't worry about their unlocks for the time being. Let's figure out where the hell we're actually going to go today. Obviously still looking to kill this guy at some point. I did actually, before I do this too, let me take yet another look at these blueprints, because I swear I'm forgetting something. Yeah, I'm staring it in the face right now. There it is. Interest gained on saved gold, 5% per week. That's pretty clearly something I should be prioritizing that I kind of disregarded. I like the cartographer's camp as well. That's one that ends up being pretty valuable, and 300 crests is not as many as you would think. Granary, too. Probably one worth going for. Honestly, yeah, so many of these are pretty fantastic, even getting into the specific ones for classes here. Let's see. I was prioritizing the vintners, of course, and the portraits are always difficult to come across, but let's maybe just go for as many heirlooms as we can manage again from wherever that source may happen to be. And to be honest with you, I am thinking I might want to try to find a way to take on this boss again, but I also feel like I maybe want to give myself a little bit of a break to start off for our first one. Let's maybe try to remember how to swim before going cliff diving to start things off here today. And then I also feel like maybe, I probably want to go ahead and get rid of that spotted fever on Dr. J too. I have been really enjoying our pair of grave robbers, and I'm glad, well, let me double check on that. Yeah, I've got Alexander here too still, so glad to see they're still going to be available for a little bit. And then one other big elephant in the room that I have refused to acknowledge still is the fact that the Crimson Curse is becoming more prevalent. I think it might be worthwhile at some point to consider going on a little barren trip, but for now I think we can head back to the Cove and see about getting some Ancestors relics. They give us a nice town event too, maybe a little bit of a break there. So let's put a squad together here. I think we can bring Skull back out for this one. I like the blight sources for a team like this, and then, yeah, let's just get a Vestal to be a little safer in this one, I think. This group should not need too much improvement. It is starting to become a little more concerning here, too, of course. More than likely going to want to consider an Antiquarian run soon. That's all them in pretty good shape. Yeah, I think that's more or less good to go. Definitely hoping we can find a way to get our missing head back. Although I suppose that's just ready and waiting with the Shrieker whenever I decide to brave that storm. Another one I'm not really stoked to confront, unfortunately. Padlock continues to be good up front here. I think I'll just throw the bleed resist on you to go up against the big scary... oh, wait, no, actually, you know what? Yeah, that's a little bit more effective, isn't it? Worried about the Uka pincher, but that's probably fine, too. And then we'll just go ahead and throw this on you for now. Works for me. Let's do it, fellers. Well supplied here. Keep the over-preparedness coming. I still refuse to believe that this is a legitimate place to make sacrifices, despite the fact that I continue to dump extra resources every time we go out, but absolutely better safe than sorry here. Continue that, because, I mean, as I was just stating at the beginning, if one thing has become clear, it's that it's very easy for me to forget good practices.
Recover these lost shipments of rarities, that we may prevent them from falling into even less
No,
scrupulous hands.
no, not that quickly. I know it's so funny. Part of me is laughing a lot too, but it's really bad news. Isn't this potential death? I think I just have to leave. This is hilarious. Oh no.
Do not ruminate on this fleeting failure. The campaign is long.
God.
All the decadent
Wow.
horrors I have seen pale in comparison to that final, crowning thing.
Oh boy.
I could not look, nor could I look away.
Nah, we're just gonna laugh that one off, man. If it wasn't immediately clear to everyone, it's an issue of missing blood there. Just needed to bring a few vials along, would have been totally fine, but instead I had a character who was wasting immediately, and I don't really want to look it up because I don't want to waste the time, but I am fairly sure that that's like a penalty of death if you don't have the appropriate amount of blood on the trip, so... Ugh. Great start. Great week spent there, Baer, but hey, I mean, bright side, we did recover stress and disease courtesy of the week elapsing, and now I'm even more convinced that I probably ought to just go ahead and hit the courtyard here, man, because Jesus Christ, this is just never gonna stop being a problem until we eventually do it. So, let's figure this out. Oh, you know, actually, it didn't even progress this, did it? Wow, good God. What an absolute abomination of a week. And not in the, yeah, okay, anyway, you put the pieces together on that one. I'm too pissed off at myself. Let's see, I'm sure we've still got a valid team for doing this. It looks like, honestly, this group is probably going to be just fine. Gordon is not an ideal final component here. I don't think we really have any besides maybe reverse engineered. He'd probably be fine. I think, yeah, that's honestly going to be good enough for me right now. Certainly not anticipating going the full length of the Barren map, obviously. And you know what? Speaking of the Barren map, Google's Darkest Dungeon Barren map, because I have done this more than enough times, blind, I think, at this point in my life, to not worry too much about the spoilers. So, yeah, I've got that ready this time. I think I'm overdue for being a little bit better prepared in that regard, and we'll pretend that I made this myself. And simply, yet again, depending on my previous experience to perform. But you don't need this. You don't need the excuse. You've been begging for me to do this for a while, haven't you? You know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate your willingness to part with the slightest bit of the difficulty here. There's more tedium than anything, honestly. And I mean, truth be told, there is an argument for trying to go for some extra stuff in there, especially if the team is performing well, but I'm definitely not going to do it by happenstance. I think I'll just take whatever may, you know, seem appealing along the way, I suppose. Boy, you really don't have a lot of great options anymore, do you, pal? I guess we'll give you bleed resist. I don't know how much good that's really going to do. I mean, they do deal with a lot of blood in that place, don't they? That does seem logical. And it looks like we've got a little bit more money to spend, too, which means I might have to part ways with a few extra trinkets again. I don't think I need a seer stone, so that's already probably fine. Reverse engineer needs a little weaponry upgrade. Need a little bit there as well. You're doing good. You're doing good. Gotta get those boosted. And a little bit more effectiveness on the pole, potentially. Potentially. Alright, well, Yeah, may end up having to go for some extra stuff after all. And this is obviously not even a great team for a standard approach here, but yeah, I think we gotta make some progress before things get out of hand. Just make damn sure we actually bring the rest of the blood we've got, which, if I remember yet right, unfortunately is not that much. Yeah, not even a full stack. All right, well, we'll bring full stacks of quite a few other things, and get some torches in there. I guess they're not as important, but might as well. Couple of those, couple of these. Yeah, that's probably good. Ah, boy. Okay. This embark button has never stopped being a terrifying prospect, and I don't think it ever will. But let's hope for the best here.
They would arrive in teeming hordes, adorned in powdered wigs and pretension, seeking to slake their thirst on wine and indecency. As intoxication invariably took hold, innocuous frivolities would escalate to ever more disturbing diversions. Orchestrating the hideous affair was a hunchbacked fiend who seemed to delight in proportion to the suffering he caused. I could have stopped him, I suppose, but I was a slave to my own appetites, and restraint would have rendered me a hypocrite.
It is pretty appropriate that I played the Baron, I suppose, a hunchbacked fiend who enjoys the suffering he causes. Yeah. On the nose.
What games does this diminutive fool play at now?
Make that 3 blood. Wonderful. Thankfully, if we can get lucky with a scout, there is a secret room early on in this dungeon, so maybe we can make it out of here with a decent little haul to begin with. I am kind of glad we've decided to do this now, too, given our lack of blood. I think just getting some blood out of this place might end up being a pretty good way to spend a week. Anywho, let's get to bleeding. Which is a weirdly strong option in here still. Still not really making a ton of sense of that. I will certainly take advantage. And I'm pretty sure I got the Holy Lance equipped this time. The Inspiring Cry I'm pretty sure is on as well. Any of those blights is going to be a little less than exciting. Nice lance, though. I want to rock the Finale this time, too, despite the fact that he's not really got a lot of levels on that one. Otherwise, he's going to be very limited up front. Oh, good lord. Okay, yeah, my fault for bringing you out on this one, friend. This was maybe a little more than you were ready for.
Destroy them all.
Well, I'm sure Totox has the solution. He sure does.
A momentary abatement.
Jessica backing it up. A little blight there, but not quite enough. First action probably going to be on the marked target. Lucky us. No spread curse thus far. Great news. Try again. That's the stuff, buddy. That'll do.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Oh, yikes, dude.
This
Okay.
expedition at least promises success.
Yeah, ain't no need for a Dirk stab up here, fella. Oh, I didn't even upgrade the harvest for you, man. Nor did I
Ambushed by foul invention.
opt to easily disarm a scouted trap. Strong beginnings this time around. That's all right. Our coaster's working its way back up. We'll be flying with our hands up in no time. I got belief. And then sometimes that's all you got in this game, and you know what?
Annihilated.
That makes for the best moments. As my good friend Alpaca Patrol once told me, in some form or another, I'm paraphrasing. But sometimes you gotta make decisions based on whether or not it'll make a good story. Which, as you all know, was precisely why I made those specific choices that resulted in deaths in a couple of the previous episodes.
Improvement.
As is always calculated.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
I like a quick stun here, as I misclicked my chance at the stress heal on the Jester, unfortunately. Oh boy, yeah, big bleed is punishment. Yikes. I'm a lot less worried about the stress than I was at the beginning of this one, though. I think we'll have that covered. It's just a matter of whether or not the occultist is going to cooperate. That's clearly not been the case so far. DOT continues to be a bit of an issue, especially if the turn order continues to betray me. I went on to bandage that right away, in fact. I was going to say, I think the Hellion should have action here, though.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
It's going to have to be more extra food sent this way. That is a very bad bleed. We're going to go ahead and bandage that, too. Yikes, dude. Not very fun to start off with here. Let's see. I'm pretty sure... Oh, it's interesting. It didn't actually... How do you scout the secret room here, then? Do you have to do something later on in the dungeon, maybe? I don't remember what's going on with that. At any rate, we should really consider finding a way to protect him a little bit more effectively here if the cultist is going to keep rolling as poorly as they have.
Eradicated.
Man. Yeah, these folks weren't ready for this sort of task, I don't think. I don't mind that too much, although the stun chance is abysmal there. Oh, this is scary now. Every fight, I'm going to have to be a lot more careful.
Destroyed.
I think I better go ahead and swap over to the Bulwark for Jessica.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Precious blood. Thank goodness. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think I can be that risky anymore. I haven't even really been that risky up to this point. It's just the level of difficulty in this place. I underestimated it coming in. I think this is a shovel, isn't it? Hey, there we go. Okay. We'll pay off early. Right, so... I know, courtesy of the map, that the red key that we most likely need can be found south. I'm just double checking. Make sure on that. I'm pretty sure that's right. Okay, let's do it. No, thank you. Another one that takes blood, I'm pretty sure. Okay, immediately glad for the... Oh my god, that really did look like 72 damage for a second there. That was exciting. Immediately glad for the Bulwark here. Make a bigger target for the cute little puppy dog on the other side. Who's your handsome boy?
Masterfully executed.
Sorry about that, buddy. Roughhousing a little too much. A little too hard there. Yeah, that's fair. I want to get her back, right? Okay, okay. More than happy with that.
The abyss returns even the boldest gaze.
Reverse is applying some serious damage this time. Love to see it. Totox not performing as well.
A victory. Perhaps a turning
All
point.
right. And ignores the mark, but get the dodge that time all the same. Still have our Inspiring Cry available here too, so maybe Jessica can help out with our much needed heals for a bit here. I think you could probably get away with continuing to stack the bleed, especially if we're not really dealing a lot of damage elsewhere. There you go. Again, it's more of a... not exactly a coin flip, more of a... what's that game show where they guess the door? Let's make a deal. Let's make a heal. Let's make a heal. I got it. I got it. I found it. I found it before you did. I win the comedy battle. All right, anyway. Yeah, we got to bring you back up a little bit, pal. This is working, though.
The wounds of war unsheathed, but never hidden.
No, deal, Wayne. Yeah, coming into this fight, I was definitely not anticipating being able to turn it into a healing opportunity, but here we are. And one more on Jessica? Yeah, why not? Beautiful. Alright, yeah, as long as this is not devastating. I mean, that's about as bad as it can be, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to get out of here with less stress than we had to start with, which is pretty phenomenal. Certainly shouldn't try to push my luck anymore, though. Ooh, yeah, especially after that. Big smite, big smite. Pretty good. Shouldn't trigger the punishment anyway. Dodge? Oof. Alright, that's going to have to be some directed stress healing, and then after that, I'm pretty sure we're good to go. Excellent. Excellent. Well done, team.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Very much like that outcome. Okay, and yeah, the heirloom's definitely the big priority still. And I should probably stop using the torches so frivolously. I think I'm going to need more of those than I realize. Alright, now we're heading to the right, and then we're heading down. And that'll be a room battle coming up in a little bit. Also, I think this might be... I think it's treasure. One of these is a stress heal, and that one gave us our torch right back, so that's pretty awesome. Could use a little stress reduction on the Jester here. Okay, yeah, this is all looking right at least, thank goodness. More hellish navigation. Honestly, this might be doable in one session. If you actually know where you're going. I hadn't even really considered that. Although I definitely don't think this is the kind of team we should be attempting the Baron with. You have to be a little bit better prepared than this. Yeah, I think this fight is about to prove that for us in a pretty substantial way. This is a much tougher squad. I'm gonna get my markup immediately on the Crusader here. Alright, that puts us in a better spot for sure. But the DOT potential from these guys is very scary, and there's a double stun too, yikes. Really fortunate first round there, honestly, despite the double stun. Could have been much, much worse. Oh, the triple stun's certainly going to make things awful, though. God damn, we got to get numbers here. Oh, boy. Okay, we'll have the resistance at least, but we also have minus 40 and minus 80 dodge on these two, so that's bad news. Good target there, at least. Our one remaining one with a little bit of dodge left over. That's probably going to be a bleed as well, so yeah, Jester, obviously, despite the mark, gonna be in really bad shape. My God. It's just like sometimes what do you want from him, you know? More than sometimes. Feels like often at this point. Thankfully got the turn order at least. I do kind of feel like a retreat may be in order here, but I'm gonna roll the dice, good God. Okay, buddy, let's see. Let's get that dodge back. Let's get a little holy water to get some resistance going here for you, friend, and then let's try this. Just give a little more chance of a crit here, I guess. There's very little I can do to dissuade them from targeting him any more than I already have. Now I feel like we definitely need to try to get numbers. Let's use the herbs here as well. Oh, that is devastating. Okay. Good result there again. Okay. As long as that's not a bleed. Alright, let's see. Keep balloting, my friend. Need whatever help we can get there. I've got to heal. Good stuff, Totox. Okay. Numbers here for sure. Their position remains concerning. Especially given the Crusader's inability to change that. Finally going for the ideal target here. Oh boy. Yeah, this is just absurd.
Hold fast or expire.
I think we gotta get out of it. Oh, I think we gotta get out of here. I think we gotta go.
The sin is not in being outmatched, but in failing to recognize it.
Oh man. Really not phenomenal progress, but Progress is progress, man. We got some heirlooms out of it. I'll take it. I can't afford another death right now. We got to make the smart choice.
There is no peril in the task. There can be no glory in its accomplishment.
All right. It's absolutely starting to feel like it's antiquarian time. Honestly, I could go for an apprentice level dungeon to take my stress levels down a little bit IRL.
This faith-fueled charity. It will not last.
Certainly not a terrible time to get some free stress healing. Thank you very much for that. Despite the presence of Curtis, we will be able to heal some folks up. Save some precious dinero. Now I think it's back to the cove with an antiquarian squad, and then, hey, it's baby's first run. Adorable. I think we'll bring Safeguard along, get Jacob in that mix, and then I think Books is a good final piece to that puzzle. That makes sense to me. Sorry, Doug, I think I'll have to wait a little while here. This is just the kind of comp we need right now to make things maybe not easy, but certainly a lot more doable, hopefully. Sacred Scroll with our... Let's keep the Feather Crystal on you, I suppose, since we do have some pretty decent options for her here. This Life Crystal isn't really going to do much, is it? Let's get you the Survival Guide as well. Padlock, along with your Shameful Shroud, and then... I think I like the damage for you, along with the Focus Ring. That makes sense to me. Hopefully not having to make too many upgrades to this team. I'm certainly lacking the means. Yeah, let's just assume they're good, I'd say, although Baby definitely needs to get the correct skills at the very least. Let's go boom and bam. And that'll probably do it. Don't see myself using a lot of illumination in the near future. Alright. Let's go try to get the funds up a bit, shall we? Put our minds at ease after a less than ideal start to a return to form, quote unquote. Ugh. Get them torches in there. I ain't about to go on another darkness run. No siree. No need for the blood this time, right? Okay, and still only 4 blood here, unfortunately. Yeah, those vendors actually starting to look a lot more important, too. We'll take a look at that after we've managed to maybe gather some more heirlooms here. We'll see if I'm close to being able to convert to the resources we need for that, although obviously we're going to need some more gold for that, too. Man. How does this always happen? For fun and for content, right? Yeah. Scripted for content. Let's go. Whatever it was that I forgot to bring along for this mission. Scripted for content.
Recover these lost shipments of rarities, that we may prevent them from falling into even less scrupulous hands.
Okay. Early on, get the herb reward. Gives us a lot of goodies. That's fun. This guy comes along. A couple of antiques already, and our first relic. Okay. Obviously, again, not ideal that we're having to spare inventory space for these.
If you value such things.
But at this point, man, we'll do what we gotta do. Oh, Shieldbreaker. You know, I could probably do with your presence in the future here in the veteran and champion levels. Because you have been a lot of fun down here at Apprentice. Let's see. You gonna be cooperative with the dodge? I think so. So far, anyway. Let's gear you up a little better, and strong start for the low-level folks. Reminding me everything isn't always so terrible. Sometimes it's just a regular level of terrible. A tolerable terrible. I liked it too.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
A little bile back there. Not quite gonna do it, but I think I'd rather get him topped off here. Man, I ain't messing around at all. No risks taken. I want a full run where not even for a moment do I fear for the safety of any of my companions.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
We needn't worry one bit. Excellent. Honestly, a great start with the loot so far here.
Cruel machinations spring to life with a singular purpose.
I am definitely already growing tempted. The proposition of going in the darkness here. Especially yet again to clear out the inventory space.
May we find victory.
I do have that bonus scouting as well. That's certainly going to make it a much safer prospect. You know, brings it up from about a 1 to a 2 out of 10, or out of 10,000 on the good idea scale. Which, you know, that's a range I've worked in before.
Diminished.
I think it directly correlates to your level of probability, or your probability of success. Which I'm sure you'll anticipate my interpretation of that as, so you're saying there's a chance. We take those.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
I'm starting to realize our lack of stress healing may mess with us a little here.
Well struck.
What better way to stress heal than a few well-placed crits? Oh, come on, Jacob. Make me look the fool, fella. Books. I wanted to say you had the right idea. We'll lean on safeguard again, I guess. The double stun from baby. The double stun from baby? Not quite. Okay. Oh, Jesus. What's the deal, y'all? Get it together. Setting a bad example for the baby. Just let me get one stun out of you, Books. There you go. Okay, that's looking better.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
I think I'm allowed, let's call it like 3 baby jokes per baby run. Feels fair.
Formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Rule of threes, which I'm pretty sure I made one before I departed. I don't know if that counts toward the total. I think we'll play it by ear. We'll see how it feels. At any rate, here comes the baby. Ooh, nice.
Waiting to be spent.
Get the shovel back in there. Excellent. Okay. A surprise attack. Beautiful.
Back to the pit.
This has felt pretty controllable so far. I think we've managed to avoid the worst mobs up to this point. The worst, I always forget the name for it. The squishes. The meshes? Mesh, maybe? The name for the group of enemies. This whole deal. What's this collectively called?
Destroyed.
Them folk. Over thar. I'm pretty sure is the industry term. Go ahead and miss for me. Unacceptable. Boy, baby with the baby heals. Making me miss that Junia's head again. Oof. Also, my targeting preference is questionable. Given the aforementioned lack of stress healing.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Let's at least have Books in good shape. And I feel like maybe in my best interest to allow her to maybe try to get the judgment kill. Oof. Probably stressing her out more. Shit.
Annihilated.
Alright, that'll do. Another shovel is fantastic.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Okay, do not forget the Antiquarian interactions. Not even really in that big of a hurry for the relics to show up here. I think the later those arrive, the better for us, honestly. Second verse, same as the first.
A singular strike.
I think we're just going to be exposed to a little stress damage this time.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
Although, of course, we do have that option. There we go. And then let's just go ahead and go for the straight damage here to make sure he's the big target. Let's not give him the chance this time.
quickly the tide turns.
You think you're so goddamn smart, don't ya? I'd be impressed with myself too, although maybe a little less proud. Ideally a little less proud. I like to think that about myself, but in practice it's probably the opposite. Got the right priority anyway. I do think this trinket pairing's working out pretty well up front. Getting quite a few more one-shots than I anticipated.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
Yeah, heirloom's still a touch more of a priority, I think, at this point, especially given that we're probably going to have to get rid of my herb here, right? Yeah, I think so. Not quite darkness time yet, although we are getting close. Like, especially if this next relic shows up a little earlier than I'd like. Okay. It's still pretty tolerable, I'd say. Let's see here. I think our odds of him targeting the Vestal have got to be pretty pathetic, so I'll try my best to keep them from critting her again, although there's only so many things I can do about that, I guess. God damn it. Alright. Now I'm the genius. Ha-ha! Safeguard, always got my back when I'm talking mad shit. Much love. Ooh! Reciprocated immediately. Love to see that. I do forget the blight chance on these guys is pretty outstanding. No sweat. Sneaky heal somewhere here, maybe? I could go through a little group therapy session real quick if I can get another round from her. Ooh, okay. Who did that? I think it's imposter syndrome, I want to say, on Jacob. Another quirk I should probably prioritize removing a little more than I have up to this point. I was kind of okay with the stun there anyway.
A death by inches.
There you go. There you go, Jacob. Doing wonderful work today.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Let's see. I mean, camp here is not a bad idea. I think I like it, actually. Yeah, let's do it.
A moment of respite. A chance to steel oneself against the coming horrors.
Alright, definitely looking to prevent the ambush. I might actually have another snake fight here, unfortunately. Oh, if that's the case, let's maybe just get some snake eyes going for some armor piercing across the board here. I do really like Eldritch Blood for him as well. Let's go with that, and then Curious Incantation, sure, yeah, that'll help her out a little bit.
The match is struck.
Lovely.
A blazing star is born.
Ooh, minus 12 dodge until camp. Yikes. That's a downer. Okay. Do have to check this route, unfortunately. Let's just go knock it out now. Gimme, gimme. Didn't really do the wonders on the inventory I thought it would either.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of
Fuck it.
otherworldly corruption.
It's time. Into the darkness we go. Not even a campfire to light the way anymore. And a bonus battle we definitely would have preferred to avoid, but here we are. Let's see. I think I like the numbers attempt here.
Obliterated.
Fantastic. Quick stun. The crit'll do. Baby in better shape. Love it. I'm glad to see the shaman has decided buffs are the priority these days. Never sold him on that idea. Job well done. I got some snake oil he could buy. Send it. Yeah, I think is exact damage. Lovely. Let's see. Let's get you started then, pal. I think we can even try to double down on the stun there.
Weapon that cuts on its own.
Give it a go. Oh, yeah. Oh, this was so clean, baby. I got halfway through the thought of saying how clean this fight was so far. Yeah, up and babied it up everywhere. I'm sorry. I don't want to turn your name into a verb like that so with such hostility this early on in your experience with the estate. That's not fair. That's like veteran level abuse. You got to go through a few dungeons before I can start treating you like that, I think.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
See, someone like Safeguard, like, you know they're getting praise when they need it, right? But every now and then I do treat them like a piece of shit. They don't deserve that, but it's just part of the proceedings at this point. What are we going to do? Not live by the traditions established by our ancestors? Our literal ancestor? Change our ways? No.
Victories mount. So too will resistance.
What a hilarious suggestion. Back to your cell. Boy, 2 bonus fights out here. Fun, fun, fun. Definitely no stealth to worry about on these guys at this level either. That's been an especially helpful little bonus.
The light, the promise of safety.
There you go, buddy. And let me get this stun up there. Great control from this group so far. Okay, yeah. Now that I've started to play them a little more to their own strengths, this team is working. I think the Bile ought to do it right there. Fantastic. Got another stun chance here with the correct turn order, please and thank you. Oh, jeez. All right, come on. It's, again, baby's first dungeon. Let's be fair. Nice. Oh, okay, okay. We're slipping a little bit. You can see the tiniest cracks in the armor. But that's okay. That's okay, babe. I told you it's okay. Getting the nerves out. Safeguard rightfully taking the abuse. Right on the chin. Frontliner just, as long as the team's okay, I'll take the abuse. Little group heal here maybe, get Books back into great shape. Yeah, whatever. They'll be fine.
This expedition at least promises success.
I know I probably ought to be prioritizing the trinkets a little bit more than I have to, but I do feel like, generally speaking, we've been able to manage the higher value stuff coming out of these dungeons. Triple groupers, okay. That is close to convincing me of an impale, but I'm fairly sure she's still better off up front. Alright. Another chance, Jacob. I'm giving it to you. Let's make it work. Look, baby even played their part. It's time for you to step up. No, no, no! Jacob! Oh, that's gonna have to be a commitment for Jacob, I think. 2 imposter syndrome activations in the same run. That's devastating stuff. Whatever. Don't even sweat it, buddy. You don't even need to participate in this one anymore. You've done your part. Stabbing time? That's the ticket. See? What imposter syndrome. Performing exactly up to requirements. That's not a kind way to put it. I don't think you'd be happy to see that on your performance review. Doing exactly as much as is necessary to get by.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
I mean, it might not be inaccurate, but it's probably not, encouraging. Hell, it's certainly not been inaccurate for me in the past. Alright, I'm still putting it off for now, at least. I don't really know what to dispose of at this point, though. I guess these 2 food can go now. Not really doing this much good on their own anymore. Oh. Well, might as well commit. Whoopsie daisy. Still want to keep that key. Chance at a secret room here. I think we have that scouting boost too, yeah, so hopefully it works out. Alright, now there's a little bit tougher of a crowd. That's immediately concerning. I'll get rid of that thrall right away, obviously. I think this might even be worth a transform here, but I don't think we do that out of pure panic. Let's let it play out around, and maybe we'll Maybe we'll be okay. Oh yeah, get a little more torchlight back that way too, of course. And let's see. Well, we do have a pretty damn good chance at the kill there at the very least. Maybe we can wait on the one round for the stun there, and then she can probably finish him off at that point. That's not ideal, but we do have a pretty easy stun there too. Stun here as well. Actually, Impale looking pretty solid this time. That would probably force a transform, though. I think maybe we just do this. It was the same percentage either way, but at least that way we know for damn sure there's no revenge on the table. Get that stun done, and then we can get another blight stacked up there. Still not too much stress coming out of them just yet either. In fact, oof. I was gonna say maybe we can just get the damage necessary, but pretty close with this anyway. Maybe consider topping us off here. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say if we can get the kill there, that justifies going for a couple group heals.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Light time. Still definitely looking for a couple of stuns here. Chance is good enough even without the debuff going away there. Oh, nice. He's gonna get rid of that. Oh, duh. No, that's just the... Pretty sure that came from this guy, right? Or it might have been a trap. Either way. Not gonna be there no more. Okay, let's just keep doing a little damage there. Stab ought to do it. The stun's back. Might as well do that. Might as well blight again up front, I guess, if we've already got his next action gone. Miss it? Beautiful. Oh my god, yes. Phenomenal. Can even get the absolution again here. Stellar work, squad. Yes, this is precisely my prescribed fix for recent events.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
God, does this feel good. Just complete command of the full dungeon here. Right? Right, Safeguard? Kind of, no, not really right, but hey. Maybe they just wanted to be insulted again. You goddamn doofus. Nah, they knew that one wasn't sincere. It's got to come from the moment. Been around long enough to detect the fakeness in that shit.
Victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Alright, okay. Still plenty of curios here, that's nice. No secret rooms so far, though. Don't have an anti-venom for that one, but that'll work anyway, nice. Disarm, pretty good for you, not great for you. Let's just do this. Not take any chances. Still, speaking of which, no thank you. Okay. Looks like I might be holding out to the end of this one. Just starting to become a little bit more concerning.
Glittering gold,
God damn it.
trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
It's gonna keep making me feel foolish with that. Right up till we get that hunger trigger.
Secrets and wonders can be found in the most tenebrous corners of this place.
Boy. Okay, okay. I mean, we were kind of considering this from the jump, right? So let's just approach it with that level of confidence. Fuck.
Can overcome a failing body.
Oh, boy. Okay, okay. Here it is. Secret room, right? Nope. Just the quest location at the very end. Post-hallway battle. More important than ever to get that first stun. There we go. And then more than likely just want to target her with this. That'll do. Okay. Gotta protect me up. Very concerned about her getting double targeted by these guys. And then
The blood quickens.
this does at least afford us the smallest opportunity for some torchlight here. Although if I cheese the hell out of it, which is a perfectly valid approach, I'll get a few more rounds out of it. Although, what's the point of that, I suppose? We've basically reached the end here. Might as well finish the job. I don't think I'm worried too much about their stress coming out of here either. They'll probably just idly wish it away. Like we all do. Hi, sorry, whoops. That was probably abrupt. I ran out of disk space. I did not realize my hard drive was completely full. So thankfully we only lost a little bit before I realized that the recording had stopped. But yeah, I'll just splice this together at the end of the last one, I guess. But we did it! We didn't die, and we got a bunch of stuff. We got the Paralyzer's Crest and a shitload of heirlooms from this one, thankfully. A whole bunch of crests, and I think we're going to be pretty close to getting the bank, in fact. So let's head back to town and see if we'll manage to end this episode on a pretty big high.
A finely crafted instrument of butchery and bloodshed.
Ooh.
Yours for the taking.
You know what? That is actually a pretty nice free upgrade here for you, isn't it? That'll save us 4,000 gold. Terrific. Okay. And then let's take a look at the blueprint again. Probably don't have the... Ooh, we do have the money. Oh, can we do this? 39 portraits. I'm going to trade everything. Just to see how close we are. Get the deeds. Oh, I thought I traded for the wrong thing for a second there. Is that going to be worth? Yes, it is. Nice. And then crests. 50. Come on, we need 14 here. We got it. Outstanding. That's a bank. Wow. What a way to wrap up. Awesome. We'll probably have to go on another antiquarian run next time. But all the same, that feels like a good way to end things for the day. We'll go ahead and commit safeguard. Get rid of these fits as well. Right. Thanks for watching this episode of Darkest Dungeon, Bloodier Moon, everybody. Thank you for your continued support on these videos. Please leave a like if you're still enjoying. Thank you for the support, YouTube members as well. Really appreciate that a lot. I'll see you in the next one.